unpredictable. I'm a big fan of trapeze tailpieces. They look really cool and they can set off a guitar really nicely, especially when it's something that's got really big arse, basically. If the bridge is quite close to the middle of the body, you've got a lot of dead space behind it, and a tailpiece fills that up and makes something of it. So I need to make a tailpiece for Yggdrasil. I could just use one that already exists. I think I've got a couple down here, but they're fairly boring chrome things and I'm not a big fan of them. So what I've got is another piece of copper, because you can never have too much of the stuff. This is about 2mm thick, so it should be thick enough. I need to make a tailpiece for Yggdrasil out of this. I've got some measurements and I know roughly what I need, but first of all I'm going to put some masking tape on here so I can draw on exactly what I'm going to cut out, and then I'm going to start coming up with a design. One thing that I forgot to do, which you should really do in this situation, is use a scalpel to mark out the lines, because that actually scribes it into the metal rather than just leaving it drawn on the tape. Because when it gets hot, the tape likes to come unstuck. So what I'm going to do first is actually drill all of these holes, and then I need to file and sand the shape down to the lines that I've created to get my initial outline. So I think that's the next task. Well, that is the main shape sorted. Obviously that's not going to look quite right over heavily beaten, etched copper. It looks a little bit too new and shiny. So what I need to do is At some point I need to anneal it so I can bend it properly, which will give me the nice burn surface, which I can then put some texture into it with a hammer as well. So that kills two birds with one stone. But I appear to have got a bit of a reputation for drilling holes in everything. And this is no different. I want to drill holes in it. I did promise, was it a promise? It was a promise to myself more than anything, that I wasn't going to wrap this guitar in leather. I'm not going to wrap the guitar in leather, but I think the tailpiece might look quite good with leather around it. So I'm going to do that. I've got some left over from last year, so I may as well. I pretty much need to mark out the holes that I need to drill, and then start drilling some holes. It's fairly self-explanatory, wasn't it? I'm going to mark it out on masking tape again. I think that I am at about the right point to wander off outside and play some fire for a while. That's nicely annealed. Now it needs texture. So I've got some hammered texture on here now. Obviously it keeps curling up and I keep flattening it. The more I hammer it, the more it'll work harden, the stiffer it'll become. I can already feel it's getting a bit resistant to hammering. What I need to do is bend this end so that I've got somewhere for my strings to go through. So what I think I'm going to do with it is clamp it in a vise, fold it to about 90 degrees, and then I'm going to find a piece of metal bar that's roughly the same diameter as the ball end on a guitar string and roll it around that. That means that when I cut it just shy of the edge and put some slots in it, I can extend these holes so that the string will come through comfortably, and obviously then I'll file and polish them so they're nice and smooth. We don't want to snap strings. But the ball end will sit hooked nicely in behind the copper here. The string will just come straight out of these holes and then it'll go over the bridge. That's the theory. Let's see if it works. Well, I was about to start threading leather through this, but then I realised, as usual, because I do these things, that it's missing something. It needs some detailing on the outside edge. So I'm planning on putting the leather on the inside face. So I think I need to get a half round file and match this to the detailing on the body. 4 hours. It's only time. I like that.